Hi. Thank God. Where have you been? I know. I know. It's the holidays. I just feel a little neglected when you don't pick up, but I get it. How was it, by the way? How was Thanksgiving? Good. How's the family? How are the kids? Aw, I love that. I had a good one. Yeah, no, it was good. It was it was a lot. It was overwhelming. It was a little different for me this year than it has been years prior, but we'll talk about that later. But it was good overall. Anyway, hey, am I on speakerphone? Don't put me on speakerphone. You already know I'm not the girl you put on speakerphone. We have some thank you. AirPods in. Okay. All right. So here's what I was doing. I was just reading through, you know me. I was reading through like these old case files. Okay. It's what I do for fun. Don't judge me. I know. I get it. While I was reading tonight, I found a story that has technically disproved absolutely everything I ever learned in nursing school. I'm not kidding. You know how I'm always telling you, like, babe, be careful. Don't mix your meds. Watch your step. Like, eat your kale. I'm always kind of lecturing you. Okay, I lecture you sometimes, but you also call me for all kinds of babe, you send me text messages with pictures of your rashes like all the time, or your ingrown fingernails and ask me if you're dying. Okay, I'm here for you. You're here for me. Tit for tat. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Okay, are we good? 10 minutes. Okay. Anyway, forget all of that because none of that matters because the year right now, 1933. Yes. You know how it's just when I'm calling you, it's a little different. I like to lighten it up a little bit. Everything that we talk about on the channel is so heavy and so intense. I feel like these true crime FaceTimes just sort of break it up a little bit. So thank you for picking up. Anyway, here we go. 1933, so we're talking about almost 90 years ago, 88-ish years ago, there was a homeless man who lived in the Bronx. His name was Mark Malloy, okay? This man survived things that would kill a fucking T-Rex. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Don't hang up. Listen. Set the scene. It's 1933, the Bronx. It's the Great Depression. Everyone is broke. Everyone is miserable. It's a little reminiscent to 2025, but maybe not in all the ways. Maybe not in all the ways, right? Prohibition. That's not a thing now, thank God. Actually, hold on. An ode to not being prohibition. Cheers, babe. What do you have? White? White? Okay. All right. I still love you. Cheers. It's not all like 1933. Okay. Prohibition is technically the law, but nobody cares. Um, there's this speakeasy called the Mermaid, and it's run by this guy named Tony Marino. Yeah. It sounds like something from The Sopranos, but it's not. This is real life. Okay. Tony is a special kind of garbage. Yes, he is. He has actually already killed a girlfriend for insurance money. And so I think we can gather from that Tony's moral compass is somewhat non existent. Yeah, I think that's where we go from there. Tony surrounds himself with a quote murder trust. Listen to this lineup of losers, okay? You've got Tony, the owner. You've got Frank Pasqua, right? He's an undertaker, which frankly is a conflict of interest in today's story, if you ask me. But anyway, we'll get there. You've got the bartender. His name is Red Murphy. And then you've got a few other guys that are probably sharing one singular brain cell, in my opinion. Okay. So they're all together one night at Tony's place, and they look at the end of the bar and they see this guy, Mike Malloy, the guy that I just told you about. Okay. Anyway, now Mike is a little bit of a tragedy. He's a little bit of a tragedy, honestly. He is a former firefighter. He is also an Irish immigrant, but life kind of just kicked him in the ass. At this time, Mike is homeless. He has no family, and he is a raging alcoholic. And I mean, the kind of alcoholic that is like shaking if they're not holding a glass. Incredibly sad. So, their murder trust, right? That's what they call themselves. The murder trust. They see Mike sitting at the end of this bar and they think, get a load of this guy. This guy's a walking corpse. Here's what these brilliant babes do. They actually take out 3 life insurance policies on Mike. 3. If Mike dies an accidental death, they stand to make about $3,500, which this is 1933. Okay. So that would equate to about $80,000 in today's currency. So, plan A, the fun way. Okay. They tell Mike, hey, since you're such a good customer here at the bar, we've decided to give you an open tab, unlimited booze. You heard us, unlimited. You even have a planned party to give him this news, right? And Mike thinks that he has hit the lottery. He is over the moon, and Mike is there. He's there from open to close. Mike is drinking whiskey like it's water. Okay. Meanwhile, the trust is sitting in the corner, quietly, patiently, watching him, just waiting for his liver to check out. But a really weird thing happens, actually. As the days and nights go on, Mike comes in, and every single night he's looking better and better. In fact, he looks great. He's gaining weight. The color in Mike's face comes back. The steady caloric intake is actually stabilizing this man. He's never been healthier. He's never been better. I'm not kidding, babe. After 3 weeks, Tony does the math and realizes Mike at this point has drank over $3,000 worth of booze. They are literally losing money trying to kill this man. So, plan B. Chemical warfare. Tony tells his bartender, no more whiskey. That's it. We're done. Give him antifreeze. And I don't mean by antifreeze bad alcohol. I mean wood alcohol, methanol, the stuff you put in a Ford Model T. Scientifically, this should blind you, then put you into a coma, then kill you. Okay? Mike downs a shot of this stuff. The bartender apparently doesn't ask questions. Maybe in 1933, you don't ask questions. You just do what Tony Marino tells you to do, I guess. Mike downs a shot of this stuff, like I said, okay? He smacks his lips. He looks at the bartender and he goes, "Oh, that's got a nice little bite to it. I'll have another one of those." He drank this stuff for a week. He didn't even get a headache. He just asked for more of the special new whiskey. Yes, I'm dead serious. The killers, right? The murder trust, at this point, they're terrified. They actually start to think like, okay, this dude's a demon. What do? They escalate, okay? They start mixing in turpentine. They start mixing in horse liniment. They start mixing in rat poison. Mike drinks it all. What? He drinks it all. He's literally over there raising his glass to them, toasting to their health while drinking rat poison. It is the most polite refusal to die in all of history. Cheers to you, mate. So, the murder trust starts to realize these liquids just don't work on him. Mike's liver is apparently made of vibranium, and so they decide to move to food. They create what is now legendary in true crime, the sardine sandwich of doom. They take a tin of sardines, they let it rot in the sun for days. I'm talking rancid. Rancid. They put that fish on a slice of bread. Then, hold on, because that's not all. They take that tin, they grind it up. They grind up the tin can itself. We're talking shards of sharp metal, and they mix it in to the sardines. And just for flavor, they sprinkle in carpet tacks. You heard me. Carpet tacks. They give this extremely jagged, poisonous metal sandwich to Mike. He ate it. He ate it every single bite down the hatch. The murder trust is watching this man at this point. They're like, oh God, any second now, right? That dough is ours. They're waiting for him to start choking or they wait for any signs that he's like bleeding internally. No. Mike wipes his mouth with a napkin and says, "Boy, that really hit the spot. Can I have another one?" How, Mike, did you just eat carpet tacks and tin shrapnel and rancid sardines and ask for more? How? What are we doing, Mike? This man's stomach, I swear to God, has to have been made of battery acid. So the group at this point, they're falling apart. They're fighting. They're stressed. And they decide, you know what? We're done being subtle. There is no more being subtle. It's February. A blizzard hits New York at this time. They wait for Mike to get so drunk that he passes out. When he passes out, they drag him to Crotona Park, which is just a few blocks away. They dump him in a snowbank. They strip off his shirt. And then, just for good measure, they pour 5 gallons of ice water on his chest, on his bare chest. And they leave him there. It's literally -degrees outside. The next morning, the undertaker, Mr. Pasqua, he's sitting by his phone. He is all excited and he is waiting to get the dead body call. Okay. Instead, what happens is the bar door opens and in walks Mike. I'm not making this up. Do the research. Real life. Real life. He's shivering. a little bit, and he's like rubbing his arms, like, trying to get warm. And he says, "Geez, fellas, I caught a little bit of a chill last night. I think I need some of that antifreeze to warm me up." He didn't die. The man just got cold. At this point, if I was any of those men or any of the patrons in the bar, I would have just adopted him. Like, clearly, the universe or God or whatever you talk to or worship, clearly they wanted Mike Malloy to live. Just give the man a job cleaning up the bar and call it a day. Pay the man, give him all the money. But what does greed do? What do we know greed does? Well, it makes you stupid. That's what it does. So, as their last resort, they decided, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to hire a hitman. And they did. They hired a taxi driver named Harry Green. The plan was to just run him over. Run the man over, okay? They get Mike super drunk, as always. They prop him up in the middle of the road, and the taxi gets a good head start, revs the engine, accelerates, and runs over Mike at 45 miles per hour. Girl, when the taxi hits Mike, he literally goes like, he's airborne. He's like flying through the air. 45 miles an hour. You're Superman at that point, flying through the air. The killers actually panic because they see another car coming, and so they just drive off. They don't even check the body. They are convinced. I just saw that man is dead. He has to be dead, right? He has to be dead. 5 days go by. There's no Mike. They are celebrating. They're ordering fancy suits. You know what I mean? Because what is a guy without a fancy suit? They're spending all of this insurance money in their heads. And then the worst sound in the world to them, best sound to me, worst sound in the world happens to them. The front door of that speakeasy opens. In walks Mike. Again, real life. He's all banged up. He's got a broken arm. His face is bandaged up. He limps into the bar and he says, "I'm dying for a drink. Some hooligan hit me with his car." The killers almost faint. It's like a horror movie to them. But the monster is just this really nice Irish guy who walks into the bar and asks for some gin. What? Okay. At this point, because this man is ironclad, Irish, sweet superhero, homeless man, I wish I could tell you that he lived forever, but the story does actually have an end. The murder trust actually finally realized that Mike the Durable was chemically indestructible, but he still breathed air. On February 22nd, they waited for him to pass out. They took him into a boarding house, and finally they decided they were going to take matters into their own hands. Now this part is fucking sad. They shoved a rubber hose down his throat, and then they connected it to a gas jet. And at that point, they pumped him full of carbon monoxide. It took about an hour. Then they got some crooked, payoffable doctor to sign the death certificate saying that Mike died of pneumonia. And they were ready. They were ready to cash the check. But remember how in the beginning I said I feel like all of these men shared one singular brain cell? Yeah. What they did after Mike's death was they started arguing about the money. And they started arguing about the money very loudly, okay, in the bar. And frankly, the rumors about Iron Mike, they had already started to spread all over town. Everyone knew about the guy who ate sardine shrapnel and carpet tacks and lived to have another shot of turpentine. Okay, the police start to hear these rumors. They actually exhume Mike's body. And this is where the nursing part comes in for me. If you die of pneumonia, you look pale and you look cyanotic, right? A little blue. Your body is not getting the air that it needs. Okay. Mike was bright red. The murder trust, okay, Marino, Pasqua, Murphy, and these other fools, they were all arrested at that point. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. No surprise. They turned on each other literally instantly. Instantly. The moment they were in that chair, they were like, he did it. No. But he also helped and he poured the drinks. Okay. It was a race, actually, to see who could snitch faster at that point. All four of them ended up getting the death penalty at Sing prison. The irony here is, right? The thing that kills me is this. If they had just been nice to him, if they had just let him sleep in the back of the bar and fed him sandwiches that didn't contain shrapnel, he probably would have lived for many more years and they wouldn't have been put to death. But there is something quite satisfying about the fact that a homeless alcoholic who everyone in his immediate area treated him like trash ended up taking down 4 murderers just because he refused to die. He refused to die. That's my story. It's time for bed now. Just thinking about it. That's a crazy ride. Go eat a sandwich without nails in it, and I will talk to you later. Love you so much. Bye.